Hey y'all, it's me. Seeing glasses are in need of repair right now, but we're gonna have a special I've been watching to talk about the new Spider-Man brand new day trailer. So let's not waste no time. Let's just get right to it. All right. So straight out of the gate, we got this fight with Scorpion, and obviously got the whole "Miss Me Spidey" thing. That was cool, but there's a couple things I want to note about this scene. For one, is the whole thing going on with Peter's eyes. Like that gives me symbiote vibes personally. I don't know what else could be going on with him. Maybe he got injected with something, but that's giving me symbiote vibes. I know a lot of other people are saying man spider, so symbiote or man spider is where I'm leaning, but I'm personally feeling symbiote with where we're at right now. Also, in this scene, we see him go pretty ham on Scorpion, to be honest with you. Like, he throws him in front of a police car, as you can see in the picture. And yeah, he seems pretty concerned about how unlimited his powers are. Like it seems like it's getting harder for him to hold back. So something's definitely messing with Peter, and this really points in the direction of symbiote, in my opinion, personally. But like I said, that's just me. But that's where I think that we're looking as far as what's going on with all this. And a side note to that, if that is what happened, Scorpion can't catch no break. Like he got hit hard in Homecoming, and it looks like he's about to get his ass whooped in Brand New Day. Scorpion at some point is going to have some major shit to go down with Spider-Man if this keeps happening to him and he don't die. In our next shot, we get another look at MJ and Ned and what's going on with them over at MIT, but we also see Peter accidentally shoot off his web cartridges using biological webbing. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. We'll get to see the Tom Holland do the Tobey Maguire thing with the organic webbing. So yeah, that's more things. Like I say, it's hard to say. That kind of gives some credence to the man spider thing, but it's hard to say, y'all, for real. Next up, we get to see Peter talking to Dr. Bruce Banner, who has this inhibitor thing on that apparently keeps him from turning into Hulk. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little confused about where that came from. I need to double check She-Hulk because I don't remember him having that in She-Hulk. And I'm trying to figure out if we're ever gonna acknowledge Scar being a thing or if we're just kind of ignoring that She-Hulk happened. Like I enjoyed it as a show, but story wise, there's some things they really need to address, like Hulk's son. But so yeah, we see Peter and Bruce talking, and Bruce pretty quickly figures out Peter's not one of his students. So he'll be interested to see if maybe I've heard some theories that maybe Hulk remembers Peter slash Spider Man somehow, but Bruce doesn't. I don't know because I don't even remember them having a whole lot of interaction. So I maybe I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just interested to see the dynamic between Peter and Bruce. Plus, the Empire State University thing. Does this mean we're finally getting Kirk Connors? I know a lot of people are saying they think Keith David might be playing Miles Warren, aka the Jackal, so that could be interesting too. But yeah, Kirk Connors would be one that I'd love to see done again because Amazing Spider-Man did him pretty well, and they were going a good direction with the original movies. But I'd love to see a good storyline done with the Lizard. And I mean, I don't. I kind of want to say that's the role they're putting Hulk in this situation. Yes and no, but I want to see a legit Kirk Connors. So Keith David is either Kirk Connors or Miles Warren would be pretty cool. Okay, for our next one, we've got some new details about this villainess that Sadie Sink seems to be playing. For one, she is described as a threat by William Metzger, who from the comics is not a very good guy when it comes to mutants, to say the least. Now, I'll go ahead and say outright, I'm pretty sure, along with everybody else, that this is either going to be Jean Grey or Rachel Summers. If it's not, my other running theory is that this is how they're going to bring Wanda back to us in a different body, since she's really the only member of her family at this point. Since Tommy will be coming back in Vision Quest, she's one of the only ones left who needs to make her return. And while I'm sure that can happen in Doomsday, it would be interesting if this was kind of a rug pull and it was her the whole time. But I'm in the camp where I think Jean is probably the best bet of who I think it is. I think it'd be interesting to see if it was Jean. But yeah, I've got at some point I might talk about why I think it could be Wanda. But honestly, like I say, I think my front runner is probably Jean Grey. But we also see this psychic or whatever it is effect that seems to not affect Peter, but it affects pretty much everybody else, including Hulk and Frank. So We'll talk more about how it affects Hulk here in a minute, though. So we see Ned has this wall tracking Spider-Man, and he's trying to figure out who he is. So either he has some memories he's trying to go back and get placed, or maybe, he's just fascinated by Spider-Man. We see MJ with who a lot of people think is Paul, that new guy from the comics who pretty much nobody liked. This part was interesting for a couple reasons. Number one, the tossing back and forth of the psychic possession type thing was interesting, but also at one point somebody asked, "Hey, Spider-Man, you still got that monster inside of you?" Or something to that effect. And that's another thing that makes me feel like symbiote, maybe, because like the fact they called it a monster, that's something. And then them threatening MJ, that's another thing of like clearly whoever this is able to like get info on Peter. So the psychic thing is definitely standing out. That's why I'm saying I'm thinking possibly Jean or Rachel. But okay, now it's time to talk about this. Peter finds this broken inhibitor, and we hear something to the effect of, "You won't get away with this." And then we hear Bruce say, "I know, but he might," as he's transforming into the Savage Hulk, and the fight breaks out. So whatever, like I say, Jean, Rachel, Wanda, whoever is doing this, she set off the Hulk. And if you've seen Age of Ultron, you know what can happen when Hulk gets set loose with somebody in his brain. I just love the way James Spader delivered that line, by the way, in that scene. But first, you might want to catch Dr. Banner. So are we about to get another "you might need to catch Dr. Banner" moment? It appears so. Okay, so now we've got Spidey and MJ together, and she doesn't know who he is. I feel like they're just sort of retconning the fact that she knew who he was. I mean, I know they did the spell and everything in the movie. I know why she doesn't remember him, but I feel like it's just somebody was like, "Wow, we had her figure out who he was way too early, so now we need to retcon this." And I feel like this is their way of doing it. But this dynamic of them together without her knowing that he's Spider-Man seems to be. Now, who does Peter take MJ to keep her safe? Frank freaking Castle, the Punisher. Because why not? He says he has nowhere else to turn. I'm sorry, but if you have nowhere else to turn besides Frank Castle, you might actually be screwed. Like, that's when things are getting bad. Now we see Peter falling with no suit, and MJ's just like, "So you gonna help him or not?" And Frank's like, "I guess so." So Frank, I'm interested to see this dynamic with Frank and Peter, because there's clearly something going on. Like, I want to know how these guys even got connected in the first place. Then we see the Hand gearing up to fight Peter in the prison, which everybody's thinking could be where we potentially see Daredevil if he's going to come in, because why else is Peter fighting the Hand in a prison? They've got some really cool high-tech weapons. I'm still refamiliarizing myself with the old Netflix stuff, so I don't remember if the Hand always had these super tech weapons. If not, then like that's something else that needs to be acknowledged. Where are they getting all these fancy weapons at? Like, Toombs has been in jail for a while, so what's up with that? Who's building all these new weapons? Then we see Frank giving Peter the closest thing that I think Frank could give anyone to a pep talk. And then Peter does the eye thing again that makes me think symbiote majorly, and goes all web spin ninja, takes out the Hand with like one of the coolest moves I've seen him do. And I'm assuming it's his organic webs, because I don't think we see the web shooters in this one. Sorry, I just forgot the words for web shooters for a second there. But yeah, so I'm interested to see what goes on with this prison fight, because it looks like Peter's gonna have to figure out how to hold back with whatever this thing is that I can only assume is somehow possibly the symbiote in his head. This kind of shot is what I was talking about, guys, from Age of Ultron. Like, this is not from Age of Ultron. This is from Brand New Day. But this is the kind of thing I'm talking about from Age of Ultron, where like when Hulk gets set off by somebody who can control his mind, when he gets like unleashed properly, like Savage Hulk, like this is, collateral structural damage, and Peter's trying to help both of them and keep, I guess, an entire building together. So yeah, okay then, like, this is gonna be badass. Last but not least, we have this scene of him stretching and quipping before he fights either these cops or prison guards or Department of Damage Control agents or whoever it is. I love it so much because at one point he's like, I'm not in high school anymore. And it's like, guys, we've officially had enough projects that we've seen Spider-Man go from like freshman or sophomore year of high school to, oh, I'm not in high school anymore. I have to stretch. Like he's our Spidey's growing up. He's truly a Spider-Man now. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a solid film. I'm liking this kind of quippy Spider-Man we've got, but it also looks like he's gonna be going through some absolute hell, and I think it's gonna be symbiote related, guys. Like we could see some man spider stuff. I don't know. But my current guess, my current thought, I think I just tapped my mic, so I'm sorry if that made a weird noise. My current thinking is definitely probably symbiote. So bottom line, I'm thinking most likely we're looking at Jean Grey or Rachel Summers, and with a potential of it being Wanda, but that's unlikely. And I think we're looking at symbiote, maybe Man Spider, and I'm pretty sure that the Keith David hidden role is going to end up being either Kurt Connors or Miles Warren. The way everybody's leaning, though, with the rumors and things, it could be Miles Warren. We could be getting a Jackal storyline because I've seen a lot of people make some good points that the comics they're drawing from, especially some of the shot for shot stuff in the trailers from the covers, is done from a Jackal storyline in the comics. So to be determined, but we shall see. Well, thank y'all for joining another I've Been Watching. This one's been a little special edition for that Spider-Man trailer. If we can get a Doomsday trailer any day now, then hopefully I'll be able to do another little special one of these. But don't worry, I'll be back with season 2 of I've Been Watching regularly before you know it. All right. Thank y'all, and see y'all next time on I've Been Watching.